So, today, again, just a reminder, you do have your, you always have this outlined for you on your stream of what we're doing for the day. Had a lot of questions about, what do we have coming up next? What if I'm not going to be here? It's always on the Google stream. I have it day by day broken down through the week. Okay. Connie, did you have a question about the stream or about what we're working on?
I need to get a new mask.
Okay, that's going to have to wait. Okay, so right now you're going to have to hold it where it's at. But looking at your assignment for today, you do have your second paragraph that you're working on, which is your first claim. Your first main body paragraph will be your first claim is supported with detail and evidence. The evidence must be relevant and sufficient to your claim, and then your details should explain how your evidence connects to your claim. What does relevant and sufficient mean? Oh, Lordy. This might be a long day. What does relevant mean? Has to do with what you're talking about. Okay. What does sufficient mean? That is a great question. The responses you're giving me are not sufficient.
They're not good enough.
Yeah, accurate, not good enough, right? Sufficient just means to be good enough. Now, we know that our evidence is sufficient because I gave it to you. I did the research for you as far as going and finding, and I found you good, sufficient information. So you know it's sufficient. I'm giving you plenty of examples of with what sufficient information is. Okay. Now, when you look at your details, and Maverick, is it okay if I bring yours up because I want to show something in yours? Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay. I appreciate it because it's going to help everyone in the long run. Looking at Mavericks is a good idea because he did already start his next paragraph, his claim paragraph, and he has information in there from his evidence. Now, Maverick, you tried to cite it, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all right, because that's exactly the point that I need you to be at is going, okay, I just don't know how to do this yet. Maverick used good information. He even has quotes around them. See how that works? YouTube is the second most popular. Actually, where's your first quote? Social media can be very beneficial to adolescents. Without it, we would be missing out on a lot of things, such as top sites like YouTube and Instagram. Now, the one thing that I would say is that YouTube, make sure we're capitalizing that correctly, Maverick. Okay. There you go. Same with Instagram. Great job. You can use these social media sites to reach out to different people with help on problems. Now, is that your quote right there? Okay. Is the quote afterwards, this YouTube is the second most popular social media platform? You can learn a lot from it because there is like a tutorial for everything. Okay. One thing that I would say is that since you're using that as a quote, it's a good idea to know who used or said that quote. Okay. So you could say another teen has said that. Okay. Now, since you're using information from another resource, Maverick, I quickly want you to go to assignment 15 for me. Actually, we'll do it together. It's assignment 15 and it's on your slide 6, right? Okay. So okay. Okay. So let's assume that it is site 15, but it's assignment 15, but you're going to check for me to make sure it's assignment 15, right? Okay. So this is why it's important to make sure we have them correct, is that when we do our citation, I can quickly go back to assignment 15. It's not that one? Okay. We're going to go ahead and assume and work with it that it's number 15. I'm glad you're going to fix it, but for my purposes, I'm going to use it for assignment 15. Okay. And the reason being is this. Once I go to assignment 15, I can now click on my assignment, which you'll only actually have one. Yours will be underneath graded, won't it, Maverick? So when I click on my bibliography, and there is an easier way to find this because the author's name is also in the title itself of the assignment. But what we need to find is the author's last name.
Okay, I found the right one.
Yeah, I think it is 15 because it does talk about popular websites on both of these. Do you know if it was off of the Anderson article? It is off the Anderson article, isn't it? Okay, so he took this assignment, he took this evidence from slide 15 or assignment 15, slide 6, right? This is the one, right, Maverick? There it is right there. I don't have to necessarily go and find it for that purpose. What I need to find are the author's last names because that's how I'm going to cite them. So I'm going to show where I got my evidence from. So the last name here is Anderson and the other one is Jiang, right? Remember, this is kind of the weird last name that threw some of you. Anderson and Jiang. Now, I'm not going to copy and paste that whole thing yet, Maverick, okay? I see that you're trying to work ahead. I appreciate it. Instead of copying and pasting the whole thing, I just need to know their last names, okay? Once I know their last names, at the end of the sentence, you're going to do what they call a parenthetical citation. Parenthetical literally means parentheses and citation. Okay, so I'm just simply going to put in Anderson. Oh, make sure I capitalize it correctly. Anderson and Jiang. Now, typically you would have your page number. I did not make you guys cite your page numbers this time. Next time you will. So I'm going to go ahead and end. I'm doing it for you, Maverick. You're welcome. So all I need to have is their names of who I'm citing. And you can see that Maverick and I can work on this literally in real time at the same time. So if you need help with this, I can help you. But you've got to actually do the work before. I'll get rid of Anderson as well. There, Maverick. Okay. So once I have the citation there, then I end my sentence after. Oh no, I'm sorry. I end the sentence and then I show my citation. Okay, so at the end of the sentence, I have my citation with the author's last name. So I am able to get rid of this number you have here, Maverick, and get rid of it. All I'm doing inside of the text with MLA is I am citing where I got the information from using the author's last name. Okay? At the end of your essay, I will have you put together a bibliography. That's why we did all of those citations before, so now we can just, well, we'll get to that later. But make sure that in text citation, so I know down here that Maverick has another citation, number 13.4. Instead of having 13 and 4, I'll go to the end of that information, right? And I'll do another parenthetical citation. Does that make sense, Maverick? Does that make sense to everyone else?
Yeah.
It is as simply as putting the author's last name in parentheses that you cited. Now, we have one or two bibliographies that do not have an author's name on it. All it has is the title. How should I use that citation? What should I use, Maddie? I'm going to throw stuff at you, you little turd. You do too. What should I use if I only have the title? The title. Okay? You'll just use the title. Now, some of those titles might be longer. That's okay. You have 2.5 and 3.5 pages to work with. Okay? That's how long it needs to be. Reminder, 2.5 to 3.5 pages, double spaced, Arial 11, left aligned. Some of you keep wanting to center and change your font. Leave it Arial 11, just like I have it. I'm not worried or concerned about that. I'm not worried or concerned about that either. I picked a font that'll work. Okay. Now, you have your first claim to work on, and that's your first main body paragraph. If you wrote an introduction, Maverick, just like you found out, Bruce, I think you had some, Maddie, you have it done. There's a couple of other, there's about half of you that have it finished. I went in and made comments on your introduction. Okay. If I told you to expand an idea, it literally just means develop it more and carry the reader with you. Don't assume the reader knows what you're saying. Tell the reader what you mean. Does that make sense? Bring them with you. You have to bring a reader with you. You don't want to assume anything on their part. You want to bring them with you. You're one of them as well, as you're nodding at me. Okay. You guys, those of you that have started, you've got a good start. Keep on rolling. Maverick, you've got a really good start to yours. Okay. Just keep on rolling with it. All right. Does it help with the citations? Yeah. Any questions on the parenthetical citations? Okay. We'll review it again tomorrow. So you have the hour to work. If you have questions, holler at me. I'll be happy to help.